Hi there, it's Andrew from Parker Adams Boat Sales. We are here in the very beautiful Wareham River. Just have a look around. It's lovely. It actually feels like you're properly on a river somewhere and not connected to the sea, but that's not the case because we are just an estuary or river off Poole Harbour. And behind me I have a boat called Seaways. Now Seaways we have sold 3 times, or this will be the third time we've sold her. So it's always nice when customers come back to us and say they'd like us to handle the sale of their boat again. This owner has loved it, really enjoyed the boat, just decided it's time to go for something a little bit bigger. The boat is powered by a single D4 260 horsepower. All the owners that have had it have done lovely little upgrades just to keep the boat modern, keep it fresh, and she's a really nice example of this Bavaria Sport 28. Looking forward to showing you the boat in her new current home on the Wareham River. So this really is a lovely, tranquil spot, and it's great to be back on board this Bavaria Sport 28. As I mentioned earlier, we've sold this boat a couple of times, and in fact one of those trips, one of those sales, I actually did a journey on her. So I took her from, it was down in Foy, and took her around to Dartmouth, which bizarrely enough, I was in Dartmouth yesterday. But she performed absolutely effortlessly, and it's a boat that I think actually defies her size, because the performance on this boat really was fantastic. She chopped through the waves really nicely, really good, powerful, economical engine in the D4 260. And as I mentioned in the introduction, there's been lots of nice little upgrades done to this boat, which I'll point out as I go through. But it's a 2012 model year, it's covered under 500 hours, and it genuinely has been really loved by all of our owners. I can say that because I've known quite a few of them. So if I pick up and start on the rear. So one of the upgrades that the current owner has done is the addition of the snap davits. So he has a little Quicksilver tender which is able to clip onto the back here and then lift up so it's out of the way, but he can take his tender with him all the time. But the back of this boat is very clever because it's dominated by this really large sun pad area. Now this sun pad, I will just point out, is the only part of upholstery on the boat that is showing some signs of wear. So there are some upholstery little bits going through there. But the owner's actually said that he's got the upholstery to do that. So he's actually got the vinyl. So if the new owner wanted to do it, he's happy to throw the vinyl in, and then that could be done by an upholsterer. He was going to do it this season, but has just run out of time and has started enjoying using the boat. But underneath this sun pad, it hides a little secret. So what I can do is just lift it up, and underneath here you have a huge storage area. I mean, you could pretty much sleep in there. There's an outboard motor in there, there's a couple of paddle boards, there's fenders, there's shorelines, and it's amazing use of space. I always miss on my boat just trying to find everywhere places to put everything, and it's amazing that on a 28-foot boat they've managed to find an enormous amount of space inside there. So you just pop that back down again. Access to the engine is really easy. I'll show you that a little later. You go down there and it lifts up electronically. You've also got a natty little function here. If I pull this lever out and just push the sun pad, then that turns into a really lovely sun pad area. So brilliant space there. Children sitting on the top playing, sunbathing, anything you want. It's really nice. And just pop that little lever out, put it back up, and it then goes back into seating mode. Seating wise, good generous size space around here. The cockpit table is presented beautifully, no marks or anything in there. Enough space there, I'd say, to sit 6 people around quite comfortably. You've got a little area here where you've got a fridge, which is nicely stocked full of beer, always nice to see. And then underneath here, you have just a little storage cupboard under there as well. And then inside here, you have a little sink. So that is a cold running water sink. Boat's been upgraded, it's been fitted with LED underwater lights. It's got a couple of scan strut phone chargers. There's one there and there's another one just up there. So it's always good to keep your phones charged. The covers were also replaced. So the covers were replaced. We've just taken the windows out to do this video, but the covers were replaced. It cost about £5,000 and that was only done about 2 years ago. So they're all in absolutely pristine condition. It's a lovely upgrade on there. Courtesy lights at night, so upgraded lights. They were done by one of the owners just before they sold her actually, and then the owners also put some additional lighting in the top here to give a really nice powerful light at night as well. So you've got ambient lighting and you've also got some direct lighting. The helm position is good. You've got one of these usual bolster positions, so you can sit down or move the bolster out the way, nestle into this position. The dials are all nice and easy to hand. I always like the Bavaria switch panel where you've got a nice touch screen, it's not touch screen, touch panel rather, for all the different things, turning on your fridges, your nav instruments, everything's controlled here. Obviously later generation Volvo EDC controls here. Boat's fitted with a bow thruster and the boat also has heating. one of the most common questions we find on boats which are this sort of size is, does it have bow thrust or does it have heating? And this boat does, of course, have both of those. It's got automatic trim tabs, so it's got the Volvo Penta zip wake style system, so that's there, and it's got the auto button as well, so they automatically control your Volvo Penta displays, GPS, Garmin map, and everything nice and close to hand. So that is the cockpit space. Up on the bow you have sun pad cushions, so you've got a nice wide sun pad cushion, cover that whole area, fender baskets at the front, electric windlass, and a good wide walkway as well, so there's plenty of space to walk around the boat, and it's nice and safe at sea there. Give it a little Seaward 25 owner wave. So that is the cockpit. Let's go down below and see what treasures we have down here. I love the space down here. I think it's brilliant, and it's clean, fresh, tidy, really, really nice. So that table can drop down to create another double bed there, but I think this Bavaria really does feel sharp and modern. Another one of these touch panels here, JVC Bluetooth, so although a lot of people have the Fusion in there, it does have Bluetooth, so it will connect to your phone, and there's enough seating down there for 6 if you wanted to. This is a mosquito net or blackout blind. Obviously we've got the sun pad cushion, so you can't see that at the moment. Cabinetry all the way around and a television at the back. Storage lockers all the way across the top here. Open that up, you can see good old Tetley tea bags in there. If we open this one, you've got all of your cutlery in there. And then in here you have your bin and more storage space. And on this side, you have your fridge. Mars bar, look at this, beer and Mars bar, you can't get much better than that. I'll close that up. And you also have a 2 sort of burner ceramic hob there as well. So nice amount of worktop space, large big sink area, and of course hot and cold running water there as well. The heating vents, so this heats up really nicely. And then inside here you have your heads, again nice, clean, fresh. Electric flush toilet, hot cold water, and then this whole room turns into a wet room. So there's a shower curtain. There isn't a shower curtain actually. I think it just turns into a wet room. So potentially if someone wanted to add a shower curtain you could do, but the shower is just there, and everything then drains down into the sink. Sorry, the plug hole, not sink. The sink's there. Into the back cabin, this is big, so a really nice size in here. Love the fact that it's got this additional seating, nice seating there for a couple of people to sit down, and then a really good size double bed under here. So that is excellent. You've got courtesy reading lights, you've got more storage space here, you've got light and air which comes through a porthole there, and also a porthole there, which can, I love these because in the boats, when all the covers are on, the beauty of having one of the portholes there, which is under one of the covers, is the fact that you can open that up and you get the boats can ventilate when you're not on board, which is great. But there is also another skylight up the top there. I always like boats that have innovated and used their space well. So up here, got one of these little blinds, mosquito side or full blackout. So really, really nice ocean blinds there. Big mirror. And as you can tell by this boat, it really is presented beautifully. It's just been really, really well loved by its owners. Current owner has absolutely loved it, really enjoyed spending family time on board, and the only reason for selling, as I mentioned earlier, is just to get something a little bit bigger. Now what I'm going to do now is just open up the engine hatch, show you how good the engine hatch access is. Now it does take a little while, so if I press this button here, you'll see that the hatch will electronically start opening. And now I'm going to speed this up slightly, that's the real speed. And I'm going to speed it up slightly. Okay, and that's enough there. So it just shows you how powerful that ram is, because that ram is able to lift that whole storage box, outboard engines in there, paddle boards, everything, to have a fun weekend away. It's all stored and then lifted up. But this is the D6, sorry, D4. I'm getting lots of things wrong today. This is the D4. And this is the D4-260. Now, as you can see, there is loads of space to work around it, and that's some of the great part about this boat, is that any sort of maintenance, any sort of engine work that you need to do can easily be done on this boat. The cooler end caps have been replaced on this, so the owner has had very much a no expense spared approach to owning this boat. And one of the other things that he did last year was, when the boat was out of the water, he stripped off all of the anti-fouling since the boat was new. So all the anti-fouling went back to the gel and then got primed, and then new anti-fouling put on, which is a great thing to do. It's interesting, he said the weight of that, when he took it off, he could barely even lift the bag because there was so much anti-fouling scraping, and that combined with the polishing up of the propellers, which were also anti-foul but are actually bronze, added 4 knots onto the top speed. So you can really see the difference it makes just to keep on top of that maintenance. So this is a boat that really is ready to go. She was serviced in April this year, under 500 hours on the clocks, and a really lovely family cruiser. The condition of this really is very, very nice. And I like where it is as well. I have to say, Wareham is a lovely place. The other thing about being in Wareham, just to mention as well, is that at the end of his weekends, when he's finished using the boat, coming up this Wareham channel, it's fresh water. And so the engines actually get a flush through of fresh water every time the boat's used. He said the anodes at the end of the season are barely even touched, which is great. So that's about it. It's lovely to be back on board Seaways. She is as beautiful as I remember her, with a few extra upgrades that this owner's put on, which is always nice to see. She's available here. She's going to stay on this mooring. If she's not sold within the next month or two, she'll be coming out the water outside her office at Hamble Point. But please do get in touch. I don't think this boat's going to hang around for very long. She's a beautiful example, really, really well loved. And yeah, she's ready to go for a new family to enjoy. Thanks as always for watching. As I say often, if you got this far and enjoyed it, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and we will bring you another walkthrough tour for boats that we're selling very, very soon. Many thanks.